Yahoo! Today it is week 13 of my training block. On today's plan, we're going to be doing a long run, a marathon pace long run. So I'm going to start off a few miles easy, then work my way up to marathon pace and then tone it back down towards the end. So it's going to be a good test of my pacing and kind of how I'm currently feeling when I'm hitting those marathon paces for a much longer period of time. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, so I'll just get at it. I'll do my warm-ups and head out on the run. All right, let's go. All right, checking in, 7 miles. Marathon pace now. Let's go. Yahoo! Just a few hours. Nine miles. Feeling good. Hot dog. Okay, so just finished 13 miles. Now entering the easy portion of my run. Just did about 9 miles at marathon pace. Just felt pretty good. And then I'm getting a call. But as of right now, I'm gonna finish off with a nice easy 4 miles. Here we go. All right, 17 miles done. So I just finished. Felt pretty good throughout. Don't feel any pain or soreness anywhere. So just a little tired, but overall pretty good marathon pace long run workout. So why don't we head on inside? And we're back from the run, and it is the start of week 13 of my training block. You may notice that last week I called it week 13, and the week before that I called it week 12. There was a bit of a mismatch in my training plan, where this week is actually week 13, but the runs I've been doing and the runs that have been scheduled have been the right ones so far. So to set the record straight, this week is week 13, and it was a 17-mile marathon pace workout long run. Now, the run did go very well, so why don't we just go ahead and jump into Coros Hub and see how we did. All right, and here we have the run up in Coros Hub. Now, again, the plan for this run was a 17-mile marathon pace workout. So the way it was structured is 4 miles easy pace, followed by 9 miles at marathon pace or close to it, and then followed by another 4 miles at an easy pace. Now, just as a note, those 4 miles of easy pace at the beginning and at the end did have those kind of hilly sections. So we'll take a look and see how that kind of affected my run. But if we look over here on the right, we see we did do 17.02 miles. Our average heart rate was around 148. Now, Keep in mind this was off of my Coros Pace 2, so it is wrist-based heart rate, but I found it accurate enough to just get a general sense of how I'm doing. And we see here my average pace was 9:12 over the whole course of the run. So why don't we take a closer look here at the actual mile splits. So if we highlight the first easy section, so which is these first 4 miles here, and then the last 4, well, including this little 0.02 section here, we can take a look up here at the quick summary, and you see that was around 8.02 miles, and we did average 10:03 pace with a heart rate of 141. There's an adjusted pace of 9:45 taking elevation into account, but giving this average pace here, I'm very happy with that. I did stay within my easy zone, which for me is around 9:30 to around 10:20, somewhere around that range. Mostly going off of feel. It's nice to see that my kind of feel lines up well with the actual planned paces that I was going for. Now, if we actually just very quickly open up the elevation bit here, you can see that on the way to the beach, there is quite a bit of elevation change, and then we drop down to sea level here. And then you could see the same over here as we headed back towards the apartment. Now, that was for the easy section. Now let's take a closer look at the actual workout portion. So if we unselect these, and we select the workout marathon pace section, which is going to start at mile 5 and go all the way up here to, or down here rather, to mile number 13. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 miles of marathon pace work. And you could see here actually that lines up perfectly with this. There was some hills here and there, but not too much. Again, most of this was right by the beach, so right around sea level. And if we take a look at the summary here, it did total 9 miles, and we average paced 8:30 per mile, average heart rate of 156. But yes, very happy with this. I was actually, again, my goal for the Long Beach Marathon is to hit under 4 hours. Anything better, I will consider a success. The stretch goal for me is 9:45. And with this 9 miles at 8:30 pace, it felt very good, actually. My heart rate didn't jump up too high. It is elevated because I was working a little hard, but was able to hold that pace quite nicely. And if we just wanted to see the pace over that 9 miles, you can see here that we started off at 9 minutes per mile, and then we got a little bit faster here at 8:30, 8:40, 8:12. It's really started to hit my stride there. 8:20, and then 8:03, 8:19, 8:38, and 8:44. So those are my splits for those mile times. Overall, very happy with this. It was pretty much spot on with how I wanted to kind of end up, and I didn't check my watch, as I said, that often. Mostly went off of feel. So again, all great signs, and overall, I would say a very successful marathon paced long run workout. And yeah, that was a summary of my run this weekend. Actually, very happy with the results. I felt like I still had quite a bit more in the tank, so all signs are looking good for this upcoming marathon in October 9th in Long Beach. Now, as I have in my previous videos, each week I do like to take a quick look at some of the gear that I've been using for my marathon training. And to round it off, I thought I'd go with this week, take a look at the last shoe that I'm currently using in my rotation, and that is the one I used for today's run. It is the Nike Vaporfly Next% 2. I got it here in this blue colorway, and I actually bought it last year for the San Francisco Marathon, and it was great. So after having raced in the shoe at the San Francisco Marathon, I did use it for a few more races, and then after about 100 miles, I decided, you know what, let's try transitioning this into more of a training shoe because it just felt so propulsive and fun and snappy. So that's what I did. I now use it as my long to medium distance kind of speed trainer. So whether that be marathon pace, tempo, threshold, intervals, this is what I reach for. It's just got that. As you've probably seen with many of the other reviews and kind of posts about it, it's the carbon fiber plate with the ZoomX foam, and the geometry of it just makes you feel like you want to run fast. Now that does have a downside of being clunky at slower speeds. So if I'm doing anything like easy pace with this shoe, it will feel pretty awkward to the point where I want to run fast just so I can kind of get out of that awkward phase. Something to keep in mind when you're running in these kind of, at least this aggressive of a super shoe. Now I do have 160 miles on the shoe now after having used it for a few races and transitioning it into a training shoe. I do feel like it's not as fresh as it was when I originally got it, but for a training shoe, definitely still able to use it and just able to hit those paces, those faster paces at a lower heart rate or lower perceived effort. So would I recommend it? Yes, completely yes. If it were up to me, if I were to use this as a racing shoe again, definitely very good for the marathon, though I'm probably starting to lean more towards the Alpha Flies with the limited runs that I've had in those being more of a nice kind of cruising long distance racing shoe. Not to say that this won't work. I used this for the San Francisco Marathon and I did great. For a half marathon, definitely going for this shoe. For anything like faster, I just feel like this is much lighter and much more peppy of a shoe than the Alpha Fly, but you can't go wrong with either shoe, and I'm going to continue to run this into the ground. So yeah, the Nike Vaporfly Next% 2. And that about wraps it up for week 13, actually, of my training block for getting ready for the Long Beach Marathon in October. We're getting close. We're only, almost about a month away, a little over a month away now. So my fitness is really starting to kick in. Paces are starting to line up, and just overall getting really hyped to get back into that marathon race environment. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, like, and if you want to follow along as I'm getting closer to that Long Beach Marathon, follow along with my running journey and training, make sure to subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Damn, son.